Today, I want to give you an important warning. Are you ready? Our word of wisdom for this week comes from Proverbs 20:25. It's a warning that goes like this. Think carefully before you promise an offering to God. You might regret it later. Think carefully before you promise an offering to God. You might regret it later. One of the saddest memories of my entire childhood is of an encounter that my mom had with a friend of hers, Clarice, whom my mom had not seen in many years. Here's what happened. Our family was visiting the United States. One Sunday after church, a woman greeted my mom and immediately collapsed into her arms, crying bitterly. After several minutes, when Clarice was able to control herself a little bit, she told my mom her story. When she was young, Clarice had promised God that she would go to China as a missionary. But while she was in school preparing to go to the mission field as a nurse, she fell in love with an unbeliever, got pregnant, and had lived a difficult life ever since. Not because the young man that she married was not a good person, he was. And not because they didn't have enough money to live a comfortable life, they did. But simply because she had lived all those years knowing that she had not kept her promise to God. As Proverbs 20:25 says, think carefully before you promise an offering to God. You might regret it later. Unfortunately, Clarice isn't the only person I have met who has made this mistake. Her story reminds me of the stories of other people who have made promises to God when they have found themselves in difficult situations, but who have forgotten their promises when everything has been resolved. God, if you get me out of this financial bind, they say, I'll start tithing faithfully. They get out of the financial bind, but they never do anything about the promise. God, if you heal me of this sickness, I will faithfully go to church. They get better, but still don't consistently go to church. God, if you give me that job that I need so much, I will praise you before all my neighbors. They get the job, and they never say anything to any of the neighbors. What does Proverbs 20:25 say? Think carefully before you promise an offering to God. You might regret it later. So the word of wisdom that I want to leave with you this week is this. Don't make promises to God if you're not going to keep them. Don't make promises to God if you're not going to keep them. If you found this video useful, I'd like to invite you to share it with somebody, maybe a family member or a friend. And if you haven't yet had the opportunity to subscribe to our YouTube channel, I'd like to invite you to do that today, because every week we'll be back with another word of wisdom. I'll see you next time.